When I say the name Dan Infalt, what's the first thing that comes to mind?
The first thing that comes to mind is betting, and I think on the surface level, that's probably the answer you're going to get from a lot of people. But for me, it's hard to ignore his comical T-shirts.
Probably how unconventional his hunting methods are. I mean, we've all seen the guys on TV hunting the perfectly manicured couple 100-acre farms out in Illinois or Iowa. And then when you think of Dan, hunting bedded bucks in the middle of public land swamps in Wisconsin, it's just incredible some of the stuff he does and how successful he is.
For me, when I hear Dan's name, I am instantly drawn to buck bedding.
The bedding pattern, for sure.
Okay, we're sitting in the buck bed.
But you need ground to have buck bedding.
All right, we're sitting in a buck's bed right here.
But the big bucks are bedded on edges. They're bedded on transitions.
Dan Infalt, otherwise known as the Big Buck Serial Killer, is the president of the Hunting Beast Forum in HBTech.
Mama always said, it's better be pissed off than pissed on.
Born and raised in southeast Wisconsin with not much money, hunting, fishing, trapping, and gathering were more of a way to survive than a hobby. It was during these hard times of putting food on the table that Dan developed the woodsmanship skills that he passes on today.
The majority of the time, even if they're on top, they'll swing to the bottom. They like to be able to see their back trail, see where they came from. So they'll walk into the wind to the bed, turn around and watch that back trail.
His background with hunting started at an extremely young age. In fact, he says he doesn't remember a time where he wasn't interested in hunting. What's interesting though, Dan is the youngest of 11 siblings, in which hunting was not something anyone spent a lot of time doing. We're talking about a time frame somewhere around the mid-1970s. When Dan shot his first deer at the age of 9, hunting wasn't a pastime or something to do because you enjoyed the camaraderie and the challenge. Hunting was food. It wasn't until the mid-80s, somewhere around 1985, 1986, when Dan started becoming interested in killing big bucks.
He survived, and I hunted him, and I had a whole bunch of boneheaded mistakes and some run-ins with him. And he got through the year and made it another year, and I made it another year, and I kept picking up his shed antlers. And I finally killed him when he was a 4.5-year-old buck. And what I did was, when he was 3.5, I wanted him so bad that when the season ended, I was so mad at myself for not getting a chance that I went out and scouted that whole winter, which was something people just didn't do back then. They didn't go looking around in wintertime to scout for deer,
Right.
And I went and I learned all that deer's bedding areas. And I think something I learned early on, and probably because I didn't get into a lot of magazines and stuff, is that I needed to be close to where they bedded if I wanted to see them in daylight. So something clicked with me where I needed to find where this deer was living. And I went and I searched the whole area, and I found all this deer's beds, or what I thought was his beds, and figured them out and made a plan to hunt them that next year. And then when gun season came, I got this idea to take my gun and sneak into the bedding areas real slow and try and kill them. And I learned real quick that if you come in from downwind, those bucks were staring right at you in their beds, and they'd catch you.
Yeah.
So I started trying to come in on a crosswind. And I did this the whole week of guns. We have a 1-week gun season in Wisconsin, 9 days.
Yeah.
So 2 weekends and the week in between. And it got all the way to Thanksgiving Day, and I'd been hunting dawn to dusk, going to all these areas. And we got a little different wind on Thanksgiving Day. And there's one area I was thinking about that had a bed in it next to this like garbage dump from a farm,
Right.
old cars and stuff. And it was kind of in a field draw. And I thought he might be in there, so I snuck up on it. And I was looking at it, and I thought, well, I walked in there, he'd just run out the other side. So I got up on a high point, and I threw a rock in there and hit a junk car, and he jumped out of his bed and took off running, and I shot him. And to this day, that's still one of my biggest bucks. I mean, he was almost Boone and Crockett.
That was in Dan's early 20s, and that buck is still one of his biggest bucks to date. But hunting that deer taught him a lot about hunting big bucks, and from there he started to really develop his skills around beast-style hunting. To sum up hunting like a beast, it revolves all around buck bedding. Dan figured out that to kill these big bucks, you had to hunt them close to where they lived. A combination of scouting, knowledge of wind and thermals, knowledge of how a buck beds, and a mindset to simply outwork everyone else and hunt where nobody else does will get you started with being a beast. Dan isn't your typical big buck killer, or hunting pro, as he would say. He doesn't wear camo, he doesn't use any scent control products, and he isn't one to only hunt when the weather is right.
I had to make sure I sprayed down first.
He heads out with his graphic tees, a flannel, his beast stand, and some milkweed to heavily pressured land and kills the biggest bucks out there.
Dude, spoon her down.
What?
Spoon her down, I got him.
While Dan has killed more big bucks than most can count, hence the name Big Buck Serial Killer, it's hard to get exact numbers on his achievements. During his filming of Whitetail Cribs, Dan breezes over scores and focuses more on the stories of overcoming hardship to find success. This theme of the hunt meaning more than the inches is what makes Dan a different breed of big buck hunter. He's attracted to the challenge. He's attracted to the hardship. He's attracted to testing himself and growing as a hunter.
Feeling beastie.
For Dan Infalt, it's not about inches or gloating about doing things other hunters couldn't do. It's only about the journey of himself as a hunter and helping others, or in his words, it's not about the kill, it's the path we take to get there.
That doesn't mean it's a bad thing. Anytime you get more people involved in hunting, that's a good thing. Saving people's souls to hunting instead of sitting in a bar or just out causing problems is good. Hunting is a pure thing, and I love that more people are getting involved.
Dan prides himself in helping others see success in the deer woods. In 2010, he created a forum dedicated to educating other serious deer hunters called the Hunting Beast Forum. The Hunting Beast Forum is a place for knowledgeable hunters and sportsmen to meet and discuss tactics. And even to this day in 2021, the Hunting Beast Forum is a place that hunters from all over the country go to learn big buck killing tactics. Because Dan holds such a high regard for educating others, he released a series of books and DVDs to help educate other hunters on beast-style hunting. The DVD series brought a visual aspect to education that at the time just wasn't offered elsewhere. He now also hosts workshops that you can go learn from the big buck serial killer himself. This fall, I was given the opportunity to share a camp with Dan and the Beast Crew. This was one of those invites where you didn't plan on talking much, but simply just listening and learning. You know what the first thing Dan said to Chad and I was? I'm here to eat hamburgers and kill big bucks. And I'm all out of hamburgers. This guy truly lives for chasing whitetails. But what I learned from Dan wasn't only about how to break a piece of ground down and hunt like a beast, but it was more about the type of guy Dan truly is. His passion for helping others really shined through. He took the time to talk with us and work through certain scenarios with us, and we were able to get a glimpse at how his mind works. He thinks about things at such a different level than the typical deer hunter. His ability to look at an area and determine how bucks will use an area to bed, travel, and feed is unmatched. Dan is truly one of the greatest deer hunters the hunting community has seen. Dan, from everyone here at Exodus, we want to offer a sincere thank you for pushing us to become the best possible deer hunters we can be. Now go get you another one.